For KBRFradio.com News, I'm Derek Sidian, and this is the weekly news recap. At around 11:30 Saturday night, an officer of the Fergus Falls Police Department made a traffic stop on the corner of Western Street and Lincoln Avenue for a red pine tree air freshener hanging from the vehicle's rearview mirror. While approaching the vehicle, the officer noticed the occupants of the vehicle begin making furtive movements in a frantic manner, according to court documents. The officer observed signs of recent drug use and nervous behavior from some of the occupants, including the driver, 35-year-old David Bartlett of Fargo. The officer had Bartlett step out of the vehicle and conducted a pat search. As the pat search was conducted, the officer noticed one of the rear passengers, 32-year-old Weston Espicia of Fargo, reach into his pocket. The officer then also pat searched Espicia, where a pocket knife was found in the suspect's left pocket. The officer ordered the other passengers, 26-year-old Caitlin Carroll of Elizabeth and 31-year-old Nicole Clinton of Wapaton, out of the car and conducted a search of the vehicle. According to the report, he found over 15.3 grams of methamphetamine, 22.28 grams of heroin, 187 fentanyl pills, and various drug paraphernalia. Bartlett was also found with $700 on his person. All four occupants were arrested and transported to the Otter Tail County Detention Facility. They are facing various drug charges, including first-degree felony sale of drugs, which could result in up to 30 years in prison. There were multiple victims of scams in Otter Tail County this week. The Otter Tail County Sheriff's Department received a call from Central Lutheran Church in Pelican Rapids on Saturday, May 4th. The caller reported that they had previously received a bill from AT&T back in January that they believed to be a scam, until they received a letter in March that stated their debt would be going to collections. According to the caller, the bill states that the church owes $1,679 for an iPad. The church has filed a fraud report to AT&T. While information is limited, the Otter Tail County Sheriff's Department is investigating. A man from Otter Tail reported to the Otter Tail County Sheriff's Department on Wednesday that over $10,000 had been taken from his bank account. According to officials, the man reported that he had mailed a check to his son in Florida. The check was then mobile deposited, and an additional payment was made on his account, netting a suspected thief a total of $10,723. While information is limited, the Sheriff's Department is investigating for potential fraud. On Thursday morning, the Otter Tail County Sheriff's Department received a report that a man had lost $17,500 after being told his computer was hacked into. According to officials, the New York Mills resident had received an alert on May 6th that his computer was being hacked. In order to protect his information from being used in illegal activities, he sent $17,500 in a safe to an address in New Jersey. Deputies attempted to intercept the package, but it had already picked up from the location. The sheriff's office is currently investigating. At around 1:10 Monday morning, the Fergus Falls Police Department responded to a domestic conflict at a residence on College Street. While officers were talking with the female complainant, the male party grabbed her bag and took it into the residence. When the male party was uncooperative, the officers obtained and executed a search warrant of the premises. During their search, officers discovered 19-year-old Zykevius Crosby, who was placed under arrest for an outstanding warrant from Ramsey County. According to court records, officers had responded to a call of a shooting at 1015 York Avenue in St. Paul on April 24, 2023. The officers discovered that a conflict had arisen between two groups that had arrived in separate vehicles, which led to a shooting. Video surveillance showed Crosby firing a handgun at multiple women fleeing the area, and additional shots coming from the vehicle Crosby got into as it left the area. Crosby was brought to the Otter Tail County Detention Facility for holding. He faces up to 7 years in prison for second-degree felony assault with a deadly weapon. At around 1:25 on Tuesday afternoon, the Otter Tail County Sheriff's Office responded to a report of a farm accident with critical injuries in rural Parkers Prairie. According to officials, the 28-year-old victim had been working with others to repair a piece of tillage equipment when a part of the machinery fell on top of him and pinned him underneath. Life-saving efforts were unsuccessful and the victim passed away at the scene. According to a Minnesota Pollution Control Agency investigation, Alexandria-based Central Specialties Incorporated violated several air permit conditions between 2021 and 2023 and will be fined $19,087 in penalties. Violations included failing to properly maintain pollution control equipment and inadequate record keeping and reporting. In addition to paying the civil penalty, Central Specialties completed a series of corrective actions and submitted plans documenting how the company will ensure scheduled equipment maintenance occurs and that emissions calculations, record keeping, and reporting are up to date and submitted on time. On Wednesday, the Fergus Falls Police Department held a fun event for kids showcasing local law enforcement and emergency services. The FFPD, the Fire Department, the Ottertail County Sheriff's Office, the Minnesota State Patrol, and Ringdahl Ambulance all had members interacting with the children and letting kids see how they use their emergency equipment. Preschool through third grade classes from all over the city were invited, with officials estimating around 500 students in attendance throughout the day. In addition to giving out goodie bags for all the kids, the FFPD also purchased bicycles to give out to 10 lucky students that attended the event. On Tuesday, May 14th, a special election is being held for the Fergus Falls School District to decide whether or not a new elementary school will be built. If the referendum passes, the school district will be authorized to start building a new 3rd through 5th grade elementary school, which is set to cost $54.8 million over the next 22 years. Fergus Falls Public Schools Superintendent Jeff Drake says that the buildings that the school would replace, Adams and McKinley, no longer fit the services and supports modern-day schooling requires.
School buildings are tools, and so you want to create the right tools. You want to ensure that you have the right tools to build your vision and make sure that that education that you want for your students, that you have the ability, the facilities to carry that out.
With any major school project or renovation, a major question is how it will impact Fergus Falls residential taxes. Drake says,
if this were to be approved by the voters, that would result in an annual tax increase of $100 per year on a $250,000 home. That's $8 a month, 27 cents a day.
Whether you support the referendum or not, it is important to vote and have your voice heard. For KBRFradio.com News, I'm Derek Sidian, and this has been the Weekly News Recap. Subscribe to the KBRF Radio YouTube channel and tune in every Friday at 5 to stay up to date with local news. Get more news at KBRFradio.com or on the Fergus Now app. Sign up for email news sent right to your inbox delivered by Cooper's Office Supply.